On this episode of Ridge Roamer, we're going to remove the stock panels from the Indian FTR1200, custom paint a new set of panels, and get them installed for a unique, very cool, one-of-a-kind look for under $150. So what I've gathered is a set of the airbox covers from Indian. These are available at your local dealership. You get a pair of unpainted, or just a standard black plastic FTR side covers. In addition to the two side covers, got one for each side. It also comes with the Indian badges if you want to use those, instructions, and the additional mounting hardware, which we'll get to later. But in addition to the basic side covers, it's not a whole lot you're going to need. You're going to want to clean it up, scuff it a little bit with something like a green Scotch-Brite pad or very high grit sandpaper. Then you'll want to clean it. I use just the Duplicolor grease and wax remover pre-paint prep. Make sure that all of the grease and wax is off of the plastic before shooting it. Then you're going to want to get some paint. I'm going to be using this ultra flat Krylon camouflage made with Fusion for plastic. So it's one of the key things that you want to look at. If you are using a standard paint that is not rated for plastic, you may want to look at an adhesion promoter prior to laying down your paint. Or the easiest thing is for a one coat, just look for something that's specifically designed for application directly on plastic. There's quite a few on the market, so look for that. And then roll of shop towels just for cleanup, making sure everything's dusted off, and use with the grease and wax remover. And then once we're done, we'll get to decals, and that can be whatever you want, whatever your scheme is, but I'll go over what I'm doing there. So first things first, we're going to start with cleaning up the plastic. Again, I'm just going to go over it real lightly with the Scotch-Brite pad, scuff it up a little bit, and make sure everything is cleaned off. I don't have any burrs, I don't have any deep gouges, don't have any real slick spots that the paint will be unable to adhere to. You're not looking to really destroy the plastic, but really just a very fine treatment with this to ensure the paint has something to adhere to. Now that I've done a light scuffing with my Scotch-Brite pad, we're going to move on to wiping it down and cleaning it with the wax and grease remover. So I typically will go over something just with a clean cloth first, get any major dust and debris off. Once that's done, I'm going to get the cleaner just going to apply some to my cloth. And at this point, you want to make sure that you're not getting any additional fingerprints on the painted surface. So quick wipe down, you can see it evaporates very quickly. So that's wiped down good. Make sure you're getting all the edges. Anything on the edges is going to be the most prone to peeling. So once you get this wiped down, we're just going to set it aside to be ready for paint. Do the other one here real quick as well. All right, next we're going to make sure that our paint is properly shaken. Make sure it's warm within temperatures that they recommend on the can. One of the other detail things I like to do, so on the inside edge of these panels, you're not going to see because it's covered by the trim piece, but I want to make sure that none of this lower edge is actually touching the surface that I'm painting on. So in this case, I've used a couple of screw boxes I had laying around just to prop that up and make sure that I'm not going to have this exposed edge that's visible once it's on the motorcycle touching the cardboard and not getting the proper paint coverage. So we get this shaken up, remove the cap, and then we're going to do a very light coat initially. Try to get a nice, smooth, even coat, and then we'll gradually add to that. We'll see how many coats we're going to end up needing for proper coverage, but what we don't want to do, get the paint too heavy to the point where we've got a bunch of runs. I'll let this dry now, come back for the next coat. All right, what's nice about this matte paint is it dries very quickly, so we're able to get usually a coat done every 5 to 10 minutes, which makes the process go very quickly. So now that this initial light coat has dried, I'm gonna go ahead and hit it again, making sure that I'm getting any of the spots that I missed or had a little bit too light on the initial coat, and we'll continue to build that up. Now we wait again. All right, so I've done a couple more coats. I'm gonna hit it with one last coat, make sure I'm happy with the coverage. The can here says that it dries to the touch within 15 minutes, ready to handle after an hour. It takes 7 days to fully cure. I'm gonna be applying some decals, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this initial paint, probably come back in a day or so, then I'll add the decals and get it ready for installation on the FTR. So here's my last coat, and then should be good for paint. All right, so we've given the tank covers a little bit of time to dry now. So we've got this nice matte green look that I'm going for. And then what I decided to do for graphics is that I bought a blaze orange set of Indian headdress decals that will be going on the side here. Matching pair of kind of worn flags that are going to go up along the top here somewhere, and a military style star inside a circle, which again is going to go up along the top here. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time now laying out the decals, figuring out how I want the look, and then applying those. We'll do a mirrored image on either side. Got, like I said, matching pairs of each sticker, and I will put some details in the comment section below, or in the description below, to let you know where I got it. Most of the decals that I get, it's off of this website called isellstickers.com. It's a company here in Tennessee, veteran-owned company. They are very big into military decals and Indian decals, along with a few other things. So I'll put their information below. They sell on eBay, they sell on their website, or you can contact them directly. Like I said, I'll have all their info available. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get started, get this laid out, and see what we come up with. All right, these sheets make it very easy. Peel off the decal on the clear section. And you can see about where you want it. I'm gonna go right here. Typically on a curved decal, I'll start with the center, work my way out from there, just because there are a few curves and radiuses that you have to work with. This is actually the same company and the same decal that I used on my Indian Chief Vintage. If you've seen the video I did on my Chief Vintage, and it's a full color headdress logo, and that has been on my tank on that bike for over 5 years now. No clear coat over it, no problems. It's in wonderful condition still, so I know that these hold up to the test of time. I've ridden it in all weather, and it's held up just fine, so I'm expecting the same out of this. A little bit different here because it's going over matte paint, but hopefully we'll get good results as well. Just gonna make sure everything is on here very well before I peel off the top locating piece here. You can use squeegees, or I've seen people use credit cards or cardboard, but I find if you kind of mold it onto this curved surface, just using your finger, thumbs, it works pretty well. All right, now we'll pull off this outer piece. Go nice and slow, just in case something starts peeling off that I don't want to come off. So there are some very small stickers that are on their own there. So far it's working perfectly. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to continue with the layout of the star and the flag. I think I'm going to do the star down here and the flag up high. Do the same thing on these. Get all the decals to transfer over onto the clear part. Sometimes they want to stay on the white piece, and you just gotta locate it, and again press down on the decals. And I'm going to work my way through the rest of these. So you've seen how these go. We'll just continue on till we're finished with all the decals, and then we'll take a look at getting it mounted on the motorcycle. Now that our replacement tank covers are painted, I'm going to go ahead and swap them out, take off the other covers that I have that I've had custom painted previously. I didn't do these. I spent a little more money and had someone else do a professional job, but now we're going with the new matte green, and so we're going to pull these off. Very easy process actually. What we're going to start with, just removing the seat, removing the center tank panel, and then popping these off, and then replace, put the new ones back on, so it should go fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and get started. Two things we're going to need is a 6mm Allen wrench and a 4mm Allen wrench, and that's about it. So for the seat removal, we're going to get in here, get these 6mm. If you've got the stock grab handles, you have to remove those to access these two bolts. If you're running the aftermarket or the accessory tube grab handles here, then you can access that, the seat bolts, without having to remove this unit. So pull the two of these off of here. These two bolts removed, you can now lift up on the seat and remove the seat. From here, we're going to get working on the Allen screws right here. There's 4 screws. We're going to pop this panel off. Once that's off, we'll have access to this centerpiece. Like I said, it's a pretty straightforward, easy job. Having a nice long handle Allen definitely makes things easier to get in here, but I was able to even get all 4 screws off one-handed while operating the camera. So Not too difficult at all. Once you've got the 4 of those removed, then this center piece lifts right off, goes away, and you can pull up on the middle. It's actually velcroed on. Once those pieces of Velcro are up, the top tab comes out of the slot right there, and now we are torn down to where we can remove the tank panels. There are 2 more bolts, one very far back of each side here. Once we remove one on each side, we can then pop the side cover off. Simply pulling out on the bottom and lifting up on the top, and they are removed. Do the same thing on the other side, and then we will install the new ones. Now I've just removed the final panel off of this side. Wanted to point out a couple things to you. Included in the kit with the new side panels, there's a little plastic bag that includes new Velcro, hook and loop. It's actually hook and hook tabs that connect that center panel to the top of these new panels, and then there is also a foam strip that goes inside. Now they do a really nice job of molding in the panel a square for all of these, so you can see exactly where they need to go. I'll show you here on the new one. Not sure if you can see in the light, but there's a square right here and another square here that shows where the hook and loop tabs need to go, and then there's a square inside here that shows where the foam strip needs to go. So we'll go ahead and apply those real quick, and then add the new side covers onto the FTR. Alright, we have now installed the dual hook Velcro system there and the foam on the inside. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall our new side panels. Set those in on the top slots, and then go around to the bottom and make sure that they get pressed in. Sometimes it takes a little bit of tweak to get them in just the right spot. There's one, there's the other. Make sure that's clicked in, and that side is done. Now I'll do the other side and put the centerpiece back on. Same thing over here. Line it up on these slots. Install those. Now the tank covers are secured in the middle tabs, and then along the outside with the push rivets, we're going to put the screws in the rear, one bolt at the very tail section of each. both of these bolts are all the way in. Take this lower center panel, put the tab into the slot, press it down, line up the bolt holes on the top, and connect the dual hook Velcro. And we'll grab the top center panel, get all the bolts lined up there. Take our 4mm Allen wrench, run these 4 in. Get those tightened up, grab our seat. Get the seat installed, run the bolts back in the rear of the seat, and installation of the tank panels is complete. Well, here it is, finished product. Got it all put together. Looking good. Green and blaze orange. Kind of a cool color combination. But get her out in the sun, go for a ride in the near future, and appreciate you guys watching the video, taking a look at how you can do your own custom paint job quite easily on an Indian FTR. What you get when you purchase the bare tank panels from Indian, and then how it all comes together and gets installed on your motorcycle. Have a great day.